How many of you saw that coming then? Oh, you lying gets. Right, before I start with review, last night I did a video. Actually, I did two videos, that's my point. I did preview for Plymouth game, which is now largely redundant, but I also did another video, and I thought I'd put that up, but that's problem working at 4 in the morning. Sometimes you're not with it. I haven't put that up, there was a bit of a problem with it, but I am going to try and fix it and put it up later, so if you want to see that one as well, after you've watched this, make sure you hit that little bell button at the bottom and that'll notify you when it gets up when I've fixed it. If I fix it. Anyway, on to the game. Nobody saw this coming. Pasted by Sunderland. Well, I said at the time I didn't think they were great, I just thought we were very bad. And then a really poor performance against Shrewsbury, even though we had all up ball. But they were letting us have ball. I don't want to go into Shrewsbury again. But this was a game against a team that's played us 3 times this season. We haven't managed to score a goal against them. They've put 6 past us. So it weren't really a game to look forward to. And if you're saying otherwise... Anyway, team news come out, and I'll be honest with you, I were really pleased with it. Still weren't sure we could get a win, but my hopes were raised a bit because Hutchinson at centre half, because when you've been out that long, there's always that worry, oh, is he going to pick up a knock and they keep it quiet and then he's just not in the squad. So Hutchinson's still in, that's a first bonus. Second bonus, Luongo back. Talked about it the other night, talked about it last week, talked about it in the other video that I'm going to put on later. Gregory back up front, and So in the squad as well, which were a bit of a turn up for the Bucks because he's been out in the cold. Really good record in Pizza Cup against all lower division teams or whatever. I think it was 2 or 3 goals in 4 starts. It's not a bad record. Not so good against Hartlepool, but after Berahino and Gregory last week, I thought, why not? Let's have a look at it. A lot of talk in the week about Corbin going out of the side and a bit of embarrassment for Wednesday or whatever, and then there's been an interview with Moore. Really good interview, actually. It's Rob Staton putting the questions. I'll put the link in the bottom because if you haven't listened to it, the full interview is about 17 minutes long. It's really good. He's asking the questions that the fans want asking. And to be fair to Darren Moore, he was in quite bullish mood. I've seen a few people say, well, he hadn't really answered any questions, but he gets a lot of stick for his erming and umming, but I don't hear many in that. And that, sometimes when you're under attack a bit, you start speaking a bit freer. So great interview by Rob Staton. I'll put the link in. Make sure you listen to that. So the game, Wednesday's team. This was a lineup. Peacock, Farrell in net. It was a back 3 again. That's something that Moore did talk about in his interview. He don't particularly want a back 3. That came across very strongly. But the back 3 was Palmer, Hutchinson, and Johnson. Was two winger fullbacks really there. The great news, Luongo back into centre midfield, which again, as we've been saying for weeks and weeks on this channel, and you've all been saying in comments, it frees Bannon up to get further forward in dangerous areas. Dele Bashiru continued in there alongside. On the right hand side, Jack Hunt, or Cafu, as I'm going to be referring to him from now on. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang, he's in on the left hand side, obviously no Corbin, no Shadipo for that spot. An opportunity for him, and Sol comes in up front alongside Gregory. I usually do my first half review at half time, especially when I'm watching the away games, but because of what's one thing and another today, I've had to watch the whole game later on, so I've been avoiding the score all day. But I'm going to keep the format of first half, second half. And it has been a nightmare, by the way. I've been like bloody Brian Glover in that episode at Likely Lads when he's trying to avoid score because my phone were ding 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 ding. I thought, oh god, we're probably getting pasted here. But anyway, I'll keep the format. First half, we had some good news before kick-off because Hardy and Jepcott, their strike force who's caused some real bollocks this season. Hardy's out, Jepcott's on the bench. I don't know what that's about, don't know if he's had a knock, but I don't know what the situation is with them. There's a lot of COVID about, maybe they've had that, but surprised to see him on the bench. Even more surprised to see Broom on the bench. Every time we've played Plymouth this season, Broom has been the player that I've thought, God, he's causing us some right, especially at Middle at Park. It's a phrase of his like his medals look milky in Middle at Park. Well, he weren't starting for them. No Hardy, Jepcott, so bonus for Wednesday to start with. But nevertheless, Wednesday start well anyway. closing down. And I mean closing down, something we didn't really see properly against Shrewsbury or Sunderland. There was no tenacity in the closing down. We had that today. I mean, closing down's always been in the game, innit? You'd think Klopp had invented it with pundits go off, right? But it's always been there, and it's something we haven't been doing of late. We did it today from the first minutes. Really positive start from Wednesday, and we're on the front foot. Jack Hunt, he gets the first sort of shot away of the game. Sol's he's on a half angle actually, he can probably turn and get a shot away, but he's really good. He just holds it up, just that split second, and then just lays it into Hunt's path, and he adds a shot in. I think he can go far post actually, but he tries to like Jarzinho it in on near side, but that's about 5-10 minutes in, so really positive start from Wednesday. And the early stats are coming up. Wednesday, 56, 58, 60, 65% at ball. A really positive start. Mendes Lang is looking lively on the outside, and he shows his experience as well. I liked Corbyn, who I thought he'd got a spark. I thought he'd give us a bit of ignition. The one thing I didn't think he always had was decision making. Mendes Lang looks far sharper with that. You can see his experience. He knows when to go on outside and put across, and when to come inside and get a shot away. It's just a really positive start from Wednesday. We scored in 18 minutes, and it's actually Lang on the right hand side after the corners broke down. Bannon knocks the ball back out to him. He just sweeps it in, a nice low one, because that's the other thing Mendes Lang does. He mixes his crosses up. They're not all whipped, they're not all drilled, he mixes it up. And so he just sweeps it in. It actually sort of goes through the goalkeeper, and he might be looking at himself for that. But what do they always say? They don't have to go in top corner. Get them on target. He was on target, threw a bit of a crowd scene. 1-0 Wednesday. Now they always say you're weakest when you've just scored a goal. It's psychological. Take your foot off the gas, whatever it is. Wednesday don't. We actually start closing down even better after we've scored the goal. And it's really pleasing to see. And the person who's leading that is Massimo Luongo. He's had a blinder today. We keep talking about how much we've missed him, how much you missed those players down the middle. He's been huge today, and the quality he showed, not just with his ball winning, which is obviously what he's there for, and he's fantastic at it. I think I've seen a stat after the game on Twitter that he won I think it was like 2 less tackles than the rest of the Wednesday side. Do you know what I mean? Combined. Brilliant game, brilliant ball winning, but it's the reading of the game. He's reading it. But it's not just that. He's a tremendous passer of the ball from a deep position, and he's got one particular pass that he likes to do. It's a low pass, it's on the floor, but he wins the ball, he looks, and he just likes that one just round the side of the centre half and in behind the fullback for somebody to get after. He actually did to great effect at Rotherham earlier in the season when he picked up that tweak of his injury when he sent Patterson away, but he just loves that low ball on the floor, round back at centre half and in behind fullback. Great stuff. His breaking up play today was fantastic. Got a booking, as you might expect. He's that sort of character. Fantastic display in the first half, and that really were pivotal in the rest of the lads going after it. We weren't pushing from the front. I wouldn't say we were defending right from the front, although there were spells when Gregory and So would go and close down, but it was like a mid-third press. They'd come in and we'd be like, bang, in that middle bit, just inviting them on enough that they left space behind. So when we were in, bang, whoo, ball. Loved it. Fantastic first half. Didn't have it all his own way. They did get a couple of breaks, although nothing to say. I didn't particularly rate the strikers that they'd put in for Hardy and Jepko up front. One ball into the box. Farrell made a good claim for it. Got clattered a little bit. And they're important catches them. When the ball's all in the middle third and down the other end and you're just stood there idle on your arse lent on your post having a fag, that's really when you're going to be most switched on. So that was a good claim. Bannon had a little right foot shot. He sort of dragged it wide, but it was a really competent performance from Wednesday and a really attacking performance from Wednesday this first half. The question is, as always for a side that don't score many goals, can you get a second and capitalise on it? Because there's always going to be that spell in the game when they have a little spell. Well, we did capitalise on it, and it was that man performing that little manoeuvre that I've just talked about before. Luongo, he's in, he intercepts, he looks up, whoo, it's that ball. Mendes Lang is away. So, bless him, worked his socks off, especially in that first half. He's got one goal. He must have been desperate for a second. He's been ardent cold. Made a fantastic support run. And then just holds it enough so he's not offside. But Mendes Lang, one thing in mind. Gets it box, drives at defender. Little dink inside and curls it in at far post. Fantastic goal. Great support run from So. He was always there ready to pick up a rebound, but it all starts again with Luongo. I keep banging on about him. Absolutely fantastic, and what a miss he's been. So, Wednesday going to break, 2-0, and it's like, can't believe it. Now, I don't know much about their manager, so I don't know whether they had a right round of fucks at half time. But something's gone off at half time because they come out like an house on fire. And like I said, this is where that second goal is vital. Wednesday had that dominance at first half, but we outscored in goals. You're always at that threat. Fortunately, we got the second. They come out. It's a daft free kick to give away on edge of our box. It happens when teams are pushing onto you like that. Little mistakes get made. The free kick itself, it's a great hit. It's a fantastic hit. I looked at it at the time. Obviously, I've only seen it once, but I think Peacock Faddle's in the right spot. And I think it's just a great hit. You don't go the wrong way out like that. Some people might argue you can get across a bit quicker. I'm not so sure. It takes a couple of little steps and goes full stretch. I think it's just a great spank. And sometimes I think you just could hold your hands up and say, yeah, that's a very good free kick. Rendell, I think it was who scored for them. It's a good little spell for them just after the break. They have like a 4 or 5 minute spell, and it's just Wednesday like, right, let's try and get back on it. And Wednesday do. This just starts setting about him again. And it's Luongo again. Although Hutchinson's, he brings such an assurance at back, Calm, measured. I mean, he saw more at ball than anybody started moves off from back today. And he wants the ball. So it reminded me, I was watching it today, but for some reason it just popped in my head. With all the times goalkeepers were rolling the ball out to Tom Lees, and he looked absolutely terrified at ball because he's there to tackle and head, and he was that sort of centre half, and I was like, why do we keep doing this to him? Great servant for the club and a great meat and drink centre half, head it, kick it, tackle. I've got a lot of time for Tom Lees, but so Hutchinson today, collecting ball off keeper, head up, chest out, bang, confidence in his passing. He's got an assurance in his passing, and that spreads. If you're panicking up ball, you're like that centre half, oh God, what do I do with it? And you knock it to your mate, you have to send some of that panic with ball, honestly. Hutchinson, composed, yes, I'll have it, let's have a look, bang. Palmer and Johnson, they lifted, they're saying, yeah, I'll have it, touch, head up. And them two were really getting into it with these overlaps with a wide place today. Really good performance all around from Wednesday. But Hutchinson, Luongo in front of that, Bannon free to do what he does, playing cute little balls around the corner, but just really good, right all over the park Wednesday. Like I said, Plymouth had this little spell. Then from 55 minutes to 70 minutes, genuinely, it's really all Wednesday. Like I said, we've had some luck with their team selection. Not if they've had COVID or whether managers trying to make a name for him, dropping one or two at better players, I don't know. But Wednesday for 15-20 minutes in total control, despite them pulling that goal back. Wednesday get a corner in front of Cop. I actually took a still because I think there were 15 players in the box. It's unbelievable. The cross comes in, don't hit anybody. Nobody hits it, and it hits nobody. And it bounces in 6-yard box. I don't know how it found the space. There were about 14, 15 players in there. Bounced and then went round post. Unbelievable. But a really good spell from Wednesday. Jack Hunt at this stage is just bombing on at every opportunity. Absolutely fantastic. I genuinely believe this last 2-3 months, I think it's the best football I've ever seen from Jack Hunt. I genuinely think he's better than he were in Carlos year one. Carlos year one, some weeks I was like, oh, stick Palmer in. fantastic today, absolutely fantastic. On the other side, Mendes-Lang, he's quite a big unit for a wide player, and he give their wide player a really, really hard time today. And then, like I said, it's that mix at delivery, and he was driving on. Fantastic. But that corner, though, how it didn't hit anybody, I'll never know. Bannon had about 3 or 4 shots. One of them a bit unlucky, Curler, just went past post. He looked like he was going to loft one into the box, but he sort of played a short ball into Derbyshire, who held the ball up really well on this occasion. It's ironic, I thought he had a quiet game today, Derbyshire, and then typically he started growing into it just before, but he held it up, knocked it back out, Bannon cut inside, and their lad, I don't know why, he shows him inside, which Bannon will take that all day long on that left peg, come inside, curled it around, probably deserved a goal actually for a little, really nice little build-up play. But it's not long before Wednesday do get ahead. They get a corner, it's cleared out, ball comes out to that right-hand side, and Jack Hunt, calm, this is what I'm on about, that assurance that you want to see. Ball comes back to him, he just touches it in front of him and looks up, puts a great cross in, and of course, Hutchinson's still up there from corner before, so great bullet header. But what I really love about it, and it's because it's a bugbear of mine, bad crossing. Bad crossing is a real bugbear of mine. And it's when people try and hit a moving man. It's always either behind him or he looks, he touches it, he puts it in the space. Curling back round, away from the keeper, into the space. He's not aimed that for Sam Hutchinson. He might have seen Sam, but he's put it into that area in front of him and said, go on son, get your head on the end of that. And he does, it's a right header. And he runs off and I'm always worried when they do these celebrations that they're going to get a stud caught in turf or something. Oh, my cruciates haven't worked. But anyway, joyous scenes. It's about the 70-odd minute mark, I think it's just before that their manager starts mixing things up a little bit, and he brings that lad Broom in, who's like my nemesis, who I'm obsessed with from Plymouth. He comes into it, and he starts making things tick. They've got a lad up front, Garrick, I think they called him, who I thought he'd been very quiet and not particularly, he'd been trying to do some good link play and hold up play for them, but it was just a yard short or a pass would be a foot behind somebody. When Broom come on, he suddenly come alive as well, and he started looking a lot lively around when edge of Wednesday's box. And from 70 minutes, I'd say Plymouth had a little 5-10 minute spell, 5-8 minute spell where they were really coming in, largely inspired by this Broom coming on. And they've got another lad, I don't know if his name was Gill, something like that. And they suddenly start looking a little bit sparky, Of course, this being Wednesday, they do get another goal. Wednesday has a good spell. Like I said, they're just easing back in a little bit. Plymouth made these couple of changes and they're just a bit more spiky, you know what I mean? Because the rest of the times played them this season, I thought we've been very milky in midfield and they've been able to dominate proceedings in there. They have this little bit of a spell and they score another goal. It's a messy goal, but it's a ball. It's a really good header from there, lad. Gets up well against post. Looks like it's Peacock Barrel's arm or his back or whatever and bounces back up. 2 or 3 players in there. I think they've officially put it down as a Johnson own goal, but it's basically bumbled in of that line. And suddenly, obviously, it's Wednesday. Concede. You think, here we go. I mean, Wednesday one of the few teams where, you can have 3 goals and you think, well, it's never enough. And then, Windass. He's come on for So, who's had a really good game, but he's faded a bit. Obviously, he's been hard and cold, and he's been really busy. He's linked well. He's tried to play these little 1-2s and stuff with Gregory, and unselfish. That was another thing. We've been hard and cold a long time, and you can see these players come in and they're a little bit greedy bastard, aren't they? But thought they were very unselfish when he got the ball. Tried to do different things, but faded a bit. Windass come on, and well, it's almost centred after their goal. It's just a long ball. The first touch. Dum. Remember that Harry Enfield sketch with the old Arsenal and with glue on boot? Little touch, and actually, I don't know how he's turned that sharp, because it's a great touch, but he's still got a lot of work to do. Little touch here, and he hooks it round, and I gets the power, because there's not an incredible amount of bat lift. Right into the cut. It's a right goal. Great celebration, and all just stood there, like, I do it all the time, you know what I mean? Great goal, but a great Wednesday performance. Bit of a naughty tackle at end on Derbyshire. Wednesday's having a little spell and laying it, and because 6 minutes of bloody injury time, and a naughty one really, a Mardy arse challenge. It's not a bad foul, but it's a Mardy arse challenge. When you're losing game, and Derbyshire skip past, and so just created more stoppages, which probably suited Wednesday really. They got that 2-goal cushion by then, so and then another little clatter on Peacock Faddle, but that happens when that happened, and I think it was one of the subs. So I don't want for somebody to go around fouling people, but you can sort of understand it. You've been dropped at bench, you come on, your team's losing, get a bit of a spanky, bit of a Mardy ass tackle, but I don't think it was a particularly dirty game other than that. Really good Wednesday performance, front foot, assured. That's what I like to see. Even if we'd won that game 1-2-0, it was that assurance. We looked comfortable on the ball, and you can't always say that with Wednesday side, but that comes from Hutchinson, Luongo, Bannon, comfortable on the ball, and it spreads. Fantastic game from Mendes Lang. My man of the match, he'd been a shout with my man of the match actually. I thought he was really good, really positive. He looks like he's claimed that chance he's had today. I don't think Hutchinson will get it, but I thought he would. I wouldn't really fault defence for any 8 goals. I thought he was really solid and assured, but it would have to be Luongo. Just superb. It was just like the centre of an atom. Do you know what I mean? He was like the focal. Everything fizzed round him, and he just moved, win it, give it, spread the. Just fantastic. And you see what a loss he's been. Too good for this division, by the way. What a loss he's been. And if he'd been available all season, stop making excuses for Darren Moore. He's a big, big miss. And to have him back, what a bonus. And maybe it's all coming together just at the right time. I'm not going to get too excited about this win, just in the same way that I wasn't going to, top my sen about the Sunderland one. But a really good performance, and if they can build on this now, maybe they can put another little run together. Right, let's have a quick butchers at league table, then let's forget about top 3 spots, because they're a minimum of 50 points, so they're 10 points cleared of us, so we'll not worry about that for the time being. But Wigan down in 4th place on 48, MK Dons 46, Plymouth on 43, after obviously not picking one up today. Oxford also on 43. And then Wednesday, tucked in there, 8th place, 40 points, but we're game in hand on Oxford, who are our next opponent. So that is a massive game now. Huge result today in terms of getting the confidence up, ready to go in and face Oxford, which was earlier in the season one of the worst performances that we've had. Chance for revenge. Right, that's it from me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, which I'm sure you will after this cracking result. And don't forget, like, share and subscribe, and hit that little bell. You'll get my next video. Have a good one.